Baylor Scott and White Health, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. HEB, the official grocer of Baylor Athletics. Proudly serving Texans since 1905. Rudy's Barbecue, the home of real.
That looks good, too.
Now, here's your host, the voice of the Baylor Bears, John Morris.
National Bank. We are live at Rudy's on this Wednesday evening. Thank you for being with us. Those of you that are here at Rudy's, welcome to you. And those of you watching on our live stream, go to Baylor Athletics YouTube page, and you can watch right into Rudy's here. And those of you listening on our flagship station, where Aaron Sexton is the network board operator, we welcome all of you. And if you'll join me in welcoming our first guest tonight, Jay Goble, Baylor women's golf coach.
Thank you. Thanks.
Glad you're here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just off the course?
Not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 hours ago, man.
So, Coach Aranda, in football, they've gone to morning practices this year,
Right.
which is different. I mean, it just kind of flips the schedule upside down.
Sure.
You couldn't do that, could you?
You know, I would like to do that, especially when we get here in the fall and
Right.
it's still 95 degrees outside. That'd be pretty cool to go in the morning, but it's tough with the schedule. It's tough with class schedules and getting everybody
Sure.
out at the same time. So we usually practice anywhere 1:30, 2 o'clock till about 5:30.
I got you. Very good. What's a normal practice? Do you play around? What's it look like?
So we play a lot of golf. We play probably 3 or 4 rounds of golf a week, which
Okay.
is probably more than most teams do. But I really believe that you get most of your experience by being on the golf course. So I think that it's really important to be in different situations throughout the day, and different competitive situations too. I think that we're always trying to get our team to compete, whether we're playing a putting contest, chipping contest, 9 holes, match play, whatever it may be. So I love to keep them competitive and keep them playing against each other all the time. But when it comes to swing practice and like practice at the Billy, a lot of that's on their own. A lot of that is them, working on technique, working on, drills that they need to work on through their instructors, or trying to build some kind of short game or putting feel.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of, that stuff's a lot of on your own time.
Yeah. So it's a mix of that.
Yeah, it's a mix of all of that. But, again, I love to play. I love to have a team that likes to play. So we do spend a ton of time at Ridgewood Country Club.
That's good. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta love golf, and you gotta want to play a lot.
It's
to get
a
better.
time-consuming sport.
Right,
So
right.
you have to love it, and we do spend a lot of time out there playing.
Do you walk around and coach? Do you play with them? What do you do personally?
I do a little bit of both. When we're in town, I do play with them about half the time, maybe. When we're at tournaments, I usually walk with one player throughout the entire day.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I do that, I can get to know their game really well. It's not always the same player, but I feel like I can get to know their game really well, and helps me evaluate what to do when we get back to Waco to get prepared for the next event.
I see. How good is your golf game? What's your handicap right
My golf game is, it's getting a little bit worse all the time, but it's.
But I bet it's pretty good.
I'm still around a 0. I'm probably close to a 1 handicap.
Are
now.
you really?
Yeah.
Gosh,
something
that's
like that.
great.
Yeah, I can do okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you play, you're not working on your game so much as you're coaching them.
Correct. I prided myself a long time on keeping my game up.
Yeah.
But get into my late 40s now, it's becoming a little less of a priority for me. I do love to play. I love one thing that everybody who knows me well knows I'm crazy about golf. So I do spend a lot of time at the golf course. I love playing golf. I love trying to make myself get better and help my team get better. So I'm kind of golf crazy.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
good. You need to be in your position. Part of it is, there's a few strokes off your score because of that cap, the swinging Billy.
Correct. Yeah.
Swinging Billy just
that
is
takes
a plus.
few off. It
right.
takes a few off.
Right.
So.
How many times a day or a week do people ask you about that?
That's kind of why I wear it. Is I love to, somebody wants to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And what Coach McGraw and I are trying to do is we're trying to use this logo to raise money for an endowment to help maintain our facility forever.
Terrific.
So we are currently in the middle of putting some stuff together, and that's kind of the plan moving forward, is that we're going to start to sell stuff with this logo to raise money for our, it raises money not only for men's and women's golf, but raises money to help keep our team going forever.
So smart.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. And you can't find it like Roy's here. You couldn't go into the bookstore. You can't find it there. It's only through you guys, men's and women's golf.
And it's going to be rolled out here pretty soon. So hopefully we can talk about it a little more next time. But yeah, that's kind of the plan, is to get it rolled out here so we can start raising some money.
Love it. That'd be great. All right, and it supports the program.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it supports Baylor men's and women's golf. And again, we have a really fantastic facility on University Parks that, it's not cheap to keep it maintained and to keep it in nice shape and keep it updated. So, a big portion of that money we raise is, again, going to go into an endowment to keep it nice forever.
Oh, man, that is so smart.
Yeah.
Very good. How about the grounds crew that you have out there that take care of that? How good are they? Yeah,
they're great. I mean, Joe Tadaro has been with us now for, I guess, 7 or 8 years. He was actually there through the build of the Billy. He does a great job. He basically lives out there, and he's got a more than a full-time job.
Caddyshack,
yes, he basically, like I said, lives out there, and he does a great job of keeping it great for us, especially our prime times, which are the fall and the spring. He has it looking awesome every day. So,
it's fantastic. I mean, I drive in that way sometimes coming in University Parks Drive, and just look over there, and it just looks pristine.
Our little oasis we have over there.
It is. It really is.
No,
how about
great.
Bob Baker? Bob Baker's on the tractor a lot for you, too.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's around there.
All right. Very good.
Grass.
Good crew. Very good. All right. Jay Goble is our first guest tonight, and we'll take our first break, and we'll be back with more with Jay. We are live at Rudy's. It is the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank. Central National Bank, your leading independent bank. We'll be back with more with Coach Goble right after this.
Jan from Toyota here. At Toyota.
On a rugged new 2024 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Offer ends September 3rd and is available in select states only.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed. Smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the stores. And a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long distance meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal. Next in line.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
With us live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco. It's the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank. Rudy's, a proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics. Be sure to stop by your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce Don't forget, Rudy serves breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. Thanks to our host here at Rudy's. We love being here every week for the Baylor Coaches Show. Continuing with Coach Jay Goble, Baylor Golf, and Matt Roberts is here, Athletic Communications for Golf and Men's Basketball. He tells me that you would say this is the deepest team you have ever had at Baylor.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we've had some really competitive rounds home, and it's been very difficult actually to even choose the team to go because we've left a former All-American at home already.
Wow.
We've left a top 100 player in the world at home already. So we are really deep. It's a good problem to have. I think that that's why we play all these tournaments throughout the years to try to figure out who our top 5 are and who are the ones that are the gamers and who are the ones that are going to play really well under pressure and stuff like that. So we're still trying to figure out that mix. Again, we had 65 birdies and an eagle last week in our tournament.
Oh, my gosh, really?
And did not finish that well. We had 10 more birdies than the team that won, University of Texas.
Wow.
But, again, it's all trying to get that mix of who meshes well, who's really good under pressure, and who can score their ball when they need to.
Yeah. That was the Mason Rudolph Invitational?
At Vanderbilt, yeah.
Okay. And y'all finished in 10th place?
We finished in 10th place, which, it doesn't sound amazing. There were 15 teams there, a bunch of them really, top 20 teams. So it was bittersweet. Again, we made a ton of birdies. We played a lot of really good golf. It was unfortunate that we had a bunch of others as well. We had a few double bogeys and a few bogeys that cost us kind of big. But I'm really encouraged. I have a team that can make birdies. If we can clean up those bogeys, which are usually silly mistakes.
Yeah.
They're 3 putts or not chipping well or maybe some mistakes in strategy and stuff like that. So I'm very encouraged. Again, we finished 4th in our first event up in Michigan, the Folds of Honor event. So I think we have a great team. We've hung with some really good teams. It's really early in the season.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraged in what I'm seeing. And, again, it's 1 through 8 are really good.
Yeah.
And we have another good player coming in January too. So
wow.
So we'll continue to be deep.
Eligible in the spring?
Eligible in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a team that you've got 5 of your 6 players who were competed for you at the NCAA championships last year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a veteran group also, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a veteran group, and then we have a transfer who came to us from Oakland University up in Michigan, Bridget Bozar, who man, she's a stud. She's going to be a really great player for us, and we've counted 5 of her 6 rounds so far this year, and she's doing a great job. Really, really fun to watch her play too.
So take me back to that Folds of Honor where you finished 4th. That was your season opening event, televised by the Golf Channel.
Yeah,
that was a great way to kind of start the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've already committed to go back there next year. It's an awesome event. There's 15 men's teams, 15 women's teams. It's fully funded by the Folds of Honor charity, which gives scholarships to wounded veterans to go to school. So actually at Baylor, they've given over 175 scholarships to people to go to Baylor.
Wow.
So it's a huge charity, and it's really cool. The event that they put on, it's one of the best events I've been to in college golf. And to be there with men's teams and women's teams, doing it for a really great charity, couldn't ask for any more.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how beautiful northern Michigan is. It's actually a really nice place.
Is that right?
If you go there in early September when it's 72 degrees
Yeah.
and 55 at night, it's very nice.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So Folds of Honor, military-based charity. Do you have
Yes.
military in your family, in your background at all?
No, I don't. But again, it's just the guy who started it. His name's Dan Rooney. He's a fighter pilot. He flew F-16s, but he also played college golf at the University of Kansas.
Wow, how about
So
that?
he's a college golfer and a golf nut, and he started this charity knowing that, again, golf reaches so many different people, and so many people get involved in not only playing golf, but it's just how people network, and he got Jack Nicklaus involved to help build the golf course up there. Jack Nicklaus actually waived his fee and built the golf course for free to help raise money for the charity. And it's an awesome place. I mean, Grand Haven, Michigan is where the course is located, and it's called American Dunes. It's really awesome.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
You'll go back?
We're going back next year.
Are you?
We are going back. Yeah, we've already accepted the invitation back, and can't wait to go back, actually.
Man, that is great.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. Very good. That's kind of almost a higher purpose, isn't it, with that charity, the Folds of Honor charity that goes along with that. You mentioned Bridget, who is a transfer from Oakland University.
Yeah, from Michigan.
Oh, she's from Michigan.
She's from Michigan.
Oh, that was perfect then.
So it was cool to start her college career, or her Baylor career up in Michigan, her home state. So,
nice. Did she
cool.
do well there?
She did. She shot even par one day, shot 2 over one day, and played great. Yeah.
Another freshman new to the team this year is Jenny Lee. How's she doing so far?
So Jenny is doing well. She's the one a year ago she was ranked top 100 in the world. I mean, she's got lots and lots of game. 2 years ago she played in the U.S. Women's Open. She played in the Augusta National Women's Am when she was 15 years old. So she has not made her lineup yet, but I see it coming here really soon.
Yeah.
And she's going to be a big part of our team moving forward.
Where's she from?
She is from Seoul, South Korea.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
So typical team for me, from
right.
all over the place. But yeah, she she really loved Baylor on her visit. She's a Christian, so she loves our mission and loves what Baylor's about. And it was a pretty easy sell to get her here.
All right, you looking at your schedule moving forward, you spend a lot of time in the state of Texas, aren't you, the rest of the year?
Yeah, we're playing quite a few events in Texas this year, which I'm excited about. We haven't done that very much in the past, but there's been some new events that have started that are really good, one of them being the Charles Schwab event that kind of mirrors what the men do up at Colonial in Fort Worth. So we're going to be playing at Colonial in March, and then we're going to do like a little Charles Schwab preview up in Fort Worth at Ridgely here at the end of next month.
Okay.
So we're going to be playing in those two spots. Our Big 12 championship, again, is in Hockley at Houston Oaks, where we played last year. And then we also are – trying to think.
The
one more event.
College Station.
Oh, yeah. We're playing down in College Station, which is kind of a typical regional site that we'll probably end up going to at some point here. So it's nice just to get a look at it. And, again, it's only 70 miles down the road, which is it's nice for the team to not get back at 2 in the morning from a trip like we usually do. Yeah.
So looking way ahead to the end of spring, where are Nationals this year?
Nationals are going to be at La Costa for a couple more years.
Okay.
So, which it was really great out there last year. We enjoyed it. It's really neat to just be able. It's almost like an Olympic Village kind of feel. Like you stay there, you have dinners and lunches and breakfast there. Your hotel, you can walk from your room to the driving range and to the first tee. So it was a really neat feel out there last year, and excited to have it there for 4 or 5 more years.
Oh, nice.
Have it there.
Great. Yeah, I can imagine. Why would you
move,
move,
right?
It's
and then going to the weather. Obviously, playing in San Diego, you get a bunch of 72-degree, no wind, perfect days.
I may need to go along with you on that trip.
Yeah, well,
so
you're welcome.
Keep that in mind.
We'd love to have you.
All right, Coach Jay Goble, our guest on the Baylor Coaches Show, presented by Central National Bank. We'll take a break. When we come back, your questions for Coach Goble. We'll have that when we come back. Thanks for being with us tonight. Thanks to Rudy's, our host, and we'll return right after this.
Kids can now join the Baylor Cup Club, presented by Green Eye Associates, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today and sick 'em Bears.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Have you gone gold yet? Go gold with Baylor Athletics this season and be the gold factor across each of our sports. Wear exclusive Go Gold apparel from the Baylor bookstore at the upcoming Go Gold dates. To stay up to date on some golden opportunities, visit BaylorBears.com/GoGold. Go Gold and sick 'em Bears.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Central National Bank. We are live at Rudy's this evening, continuing with Coach Jay Goble, Baylor women's golf coach. Baylor women's golf, one of 9 teams in the country to play in 4 straight NCAA championships. So congratulations again on that consistency and consistently good. One of 8 teams to play in 6 of the last 8 championships. So well done. That's sort of the expectation, isn't it?
Well, set the bar pretty high. But
right,
yes,
it is high.
I think that, we're able to get good players here. We have great facilities, great weather, and an amazing school. So why not?
That's great.
Why not continue to be good?
And you mentioned the Billy, and we'll get to questions from the audience in a moment. You mentioned the Billy. Tell our listeners and everybody here, I mean, it's got everything. You could live there. I mean, Joe Tadero maybe does live there, but you could live in there.
It's great. I mean, I think, again, the biggest thing that the Billy helps us with is time, is like their time, our student-athletes' time is so precious, like to be able to not only go to class half the day, be able to work out at the Billy, be able to work on their game at the Billy, have a locker room there and a team area where they can study if they need to study in between breaks. I mean, there are some players that seem like they live there, but it's a nice, quiet place where they can go, again, hook up to the Wi-Fi and study for a test if they need to, and kind of get away from everything. So it's multi-purpose, but it's an amazing thing to have so close to campus. Again, from the business school, it's a 1-minute drive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just right down to U Park. So
that's the best part.
So it's real easy. I think that, again, when we had the place at Twin Rivers, it was awesome, but it was 25 minutes to get out there.
Right.
Whereas now they're 2 minutes away from being at their place, which is, and most of them live over there too. So it's just kind of a convenient little jaunt across the street to get their work done, to practice, and to feel comfortable doing what they need to do to be prepared to play.
Very cool. And the short name is the Billy, but it's Billy Williams Golf Facility.
Yeah.
And when we say this logo that we're talking about is, some people might call it the Swinging Bear, but it's more the Swinging Billy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he did us a solid, man. Oh. He gave us the lead gift to get everything going, and for a long time it felt like a pipe dream and that it wouldn't happen, but the Williams family in general, they've been amazing to us, not only with the lead gift to get everything built, but his children who didn't even go to Baylor, they've been amazing in donating money and resources and just helping us out. It's been a cool thing.
Wow, love that. All right, questions from the audience. Roy is first. Roy is right here front and center. With all the places you have been recruiting, what is your craziest recruiting story?
I got a bunch of them, but the one that always sticks out in my mind is the first time I went to Sweden. There was I had been recruiting to a few other places out of the country, but Sweden was a little bit kind of out of my wheelhouse, and I had booked a hotel room on Hotels.com or whatever. I found I found a room, I think, for like $90 a night. So I'm like, $90 a night, I have to get this one. You know, and it looked nice in the pictures, and it looked great. And I finally get there after like 36 hours of traveling. I'd fly to Amsterdam and sit around, fly to Stockholm, then drive 3 hours to get to my $89 a night hotel room that I was so excited that I found. And when I get up on the hall, the doors are literally like 3 feet apart. And I was like, I'm like, I don't know if these are like really long rooms or what's going on here, but I opened up my hotel room and I could literally lay on the bed, put my hand in the sink, put my other hand on the window. I could touch the TV with my foot. You know, I was just,
my gosh.
It was literally smaller than my closet.
Oh,
the room
man.
was. And the other thing is I couldn't get anything to turn on. And this was probably like 12 years ago or something. I couldn't get anything to turn on in the room. And I'd been traveling. I was a little bit delirious. I go downstairs and I talk to the lady at the front desk, and she's like, you know, you idiots, we're saving the world here. Like, the electricity doesn't turn on until you put your key in the little thing by the door. Like, so I didn't even know that existed at this point. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, I'll just go and put my key back in the side here, and then everything turns on. So,
oh, man.
But, you know, I think the most interesting thing about recruiting abroad is everywhere is so different than us. I mean, in a good way. I mean, it's cool to see how other people live, how other people play golf, and how they get around. And I usually try on the road to book myself some time to get to see other places, because I think that, you know, I actually haven't been back to Stockholm since this story 12 years ago. So I made it a point to kind of book myself a day away from recruiting to see these places that, you know, I might never see again.
Yeah. That's great.
So
you got some good stories, I can imagine. That's why that room was $89.
Yeah.
You found out why?
Yeah, it was something.
Very good. And makes you appreciate what you have here when you get back home, too.
Oh, my gosh. Well, and the other thing, and, you know, those of us who've traveled abroad know that they don't like their air conditioning like we do.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have to have my room really cold.
Yeah.
And they that's not their gig over there. They like it really warm. They don't want any AC.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the convenience I really miss from America when I travel over there is, man, I wish I could take an air conditioner with me over there.
No ice in the water, probably.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that'll mess with that.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thanks for being with us this evening. What's next? Bahamas is next?
Yeah, we head to the Bahamas. Really cool trip. We go to Atlantis, you know, where our men's basketball team has played a couple times. There's a golf course there called the Ocean Club. There's only 12 teams or something, and it's really neat. We stay right there at Atlantis. We have 8 o'clock tee times every morning. We're on the beach by 1 every day.
Golly, that
so
is
it'll
great.
Be nice.
Have you been there before?
We played in this tournament in 2019.
Okay.
I think if you ask any player on my team that went on that trip, it was their favorite trip of all
Right. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I went with basketball when we played in the Battle for Atlantis. That place is spectacular. So you've seen all the yachts that are out there, right? I mean, huge yachts.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
The golf course that we play on, you know, when we were going around with our caddy, he was like, oh, yeah, that's Oprah Winfrey's house. That's Jay-Z's house.
Oh,
that's
my gosh.
Michael Jordan's house.
Wow.
I mean, it's like, oh, okay. Pretty normal.
That's wild. Yeah, they pointed one time, that yacht out there, Sylvester Stallone. I think he's here. Well, I'm not sure, but I think he's here. So that's that'll be a good trip.
Yeah, when they showed me Jay-Z and Beyonce's house, they were like, oh, that's Jay-Z and Beyonce's house. And it's like, man, it's not really as big as I thought it was going to be. They're like, no, that's the pool house. That's their house. And it was like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, man. All right. Well, have a good trip. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Jay Goble, Baylor women's golf coach, with us. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll turn the focus to Baylor football. Coach Mason Miller is with us, offensive line coach at Baylor. He'll join us when we come back. Stay with us. It's the Baylor Coaches Show, presented by Central National Bank, and we'll be right back after this.
This is David Wetzel, Executive Director of the Baylor Bee Association, inviting you to our 2024 Baylor Athletics Hall of Fame induction banquet November the 1st at the Hurd Welcome Center. We have another outstanding class of inductees this year, including Brittany Griner and Odyssey Sims from women's basketball, Ronnie Allen from track and field, Whitney Cannon Rickenstein from Baylor softball, Mark Cochran from football, Michael Griffin from baseball, Nina Cesar-Bajovic from women's tennis, and Epe Udo from men's basketball. We'll also honor the back-to-back Big 12 Championship 2013 and 2014 football teams. The induction banquet is Friday, November 1st at 6:30 p.m. in the Hurd Welcome Center Grand Ballroom. Tickets and table sponsorships are available by going to BaylorBears.com/HOF. That's BaylorBears.com/HOF. Hope you can join us November 1st for the Baylor Athletics Hall of Fame induction banquet. Sic 'em Bears.
Are you a proud Baylor fan? Do you love prizes? The Baylor Sports app allows fans to track their attendance across athletic events and earn points using Baylor Bold Rewards. Baylor Athletics wants to reward the most loyal fans for cheering on the Bears, so register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com or download the Baylor Sports app straight to your phone. Prizes this year are better than ever, so start earning your points today. Hey Baylor fans, Baylor soccer season is currently underway. Come be a part of the action at Betty Lou Mays Field all season long and watch head coach Michelle Leonard and the Bears battle against the best in the Big 12. Score your tickets for game day right now at BaylorBears.com/tickets. We'll see you at Betty Lou. Sic 'em Bears.
From the Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is KRZI Waco, K222DC Waco, K265DV Temple, ESPN Central Texas. You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Tonight presented by Central National Bank. Let's give you our Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics Health Tip of the Week. Don't let pain slow you down. We diagnose and treat sports-related injuries and provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike. Visit a Baylor Scott and White Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Specialist and move like you used to. Folks, join me in welcoming our guest tonight as we talk Baylor football. Coach Mason Miller, first-year offensive line coach here at Baylor. Welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Yes,
we
sir.
really appreciate it. First off, your background, you were at Tarleton a couple of stints. And as recently as last year, you were the offensive coordinator at Tarleton, who we played in the first game this year. What was that like?
Quite ironic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The weird thing is I spent more time looking at the defense, which was kind of like practice, and I never got to watch the offensive kids play, which I coach. So I kind of like missed that whole thing. So the next day I went in and actually watched the film because I was like, I don't know who did what.
That's funny. Yeah.
So, a bunch of great kids. I know they'll have a great season under Coach Witten.
Most people really don't understand that concept. Like your position, you're watching the defense almost exclusively, right? You don't even look at the offense of your opponent.
Generally don't look up, don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Kind of an ironic. You're over there in your little, your nook, if you will, with your iPad now, which is a whole different world.
Right.
And so you're going over stuff and you're correcting stuff, and then somebody's like, punt return ready, and you're like, oh, we got to go. You don't know the flow of the game.
Yeah.
So it's been an awesome learning experience how to do that, see all that stuff, but at the same time, like, you don't have the feel of the game like you used to.
Yeah. And your background, other stops, at one point a head coach at McMurray, and we're with Mike Leach a couple of places, right?
Yes, Washington State and Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Coach Leach.
yeah. I bet that was interesting.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Absolutely. I know Tech played Washington State maybe a couple of weeks ago.
They did.
And sort of honored, Coach Leach.
Yeah,
at
they
that
put
game.
him in the Wazoo Hall of Fame.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So, and then you go back to working with Hal Mummy, right, at where, Valdosta?
Well, I started playing for Coach Mummy at Valdosta State, where Coach Leach was the offensive line coach, ironically.
Huh.
And I was always around him, being the fullback. They didn't let me carry the ball. They just kind of had me be around the offensive line, so that's kind of how I got into coaching the offensive line.
Gotcha.
Because I knew where everybody's supposed to be. But Coach Mummy I was with at New Mexico State, Southeastern Louisiana, and McMurray. And then when he left, I took over as the head coach for 1 year and then went to Tarleton.
I got you. Okay.
Yep.
So what was that staff? Who all was on that staff at Valdosta State?
Oh, goodness. Dana Holgerson, Mike Leach, obviously Coach Mummy, and then Chris Hatcher, who is now the head coach at Samford University. But the staff that Hatch brought in was a guy named Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp. I mean, so that kind of the cradle of coaches down there in South Georgia.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
That's great. Great experience, obviously, for you.
Yeah, I loved it. Loved my time there. Obviously, I always joke, I wish I'd have known those guys would have been, if we're going to be famous, I'd have paid a little bit more attention as a player. But really cool to learn everything and then see everything kind of transition. Coach Mummy going to the SEC and then Coach Leach spurring off to Oklahoma and Texas Tech, and then all the success that he's had and what Coach Mummy did for the sport and all that's been really cool. Really nice to be a part of, and I owe them everything that I learned in football. Man,
that's great. I always think about Coach Mummy way back. He was the high school coach at Coppers Cove, which is just down the road here.
Yeah, no, I mean I kind of feel like I've known where Coppers Cove was my entire life because I'd hear the stories. Ironically, right? when we were at Southeastern Louisiana, he threw a set of keys at me and says, "Go recruit Texas," and I was like, "I've never been west of the Mississippi. What are we doing?" Sent me to see Johnny Tusa at Waco High School, Jack Welch at Coppers Cove, all these coaches that had worked for him.
Wow.
And so they would kind of point out where I needed to go, and hey, I didn't know anything. I'd just drive up and down 35 here and make stops. So actually ate here a few times.
Oh, nice.
This is kind of full circle for me here.
That's great. That's a pretty good story. Tell us about your line, the offensive line, and it is a lot of young guys for the most part. I mean, relatively young guys that are doing really well for you.
They're competing. I think the biggest thing is they've gotten some growth. I think when I walked in the room, there was this eagerness to learn and develop, which I think is really what college football is all about. Part of the problem with being an offensive lineman, they're so large and everybody thinks, well, they're the biggest guy out there. They should be able to know everything is moving at a rate of speed. And sometimes it's like watching a deer on ice. They're trying to figure out their bodies, how they control it, and then they start settling down. The game slows down for them. And I think what's happening now week after week is the game is starting to slow down for them. And we're not having to correct the things that we were having to correct 4 weeks ago. Now we can move on to other things. And so I'm really proud of those guys, and they bought in. And really their eagerness to, bring themselves up and compete at a better level.
And it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you've got some pretty good depth there also.
We do. We made a big effort to go out and recruit. I felt like I was drinking water out of a fire hose the first couple of months I was here, learning the kids, I knew the offense because Spav and I have known each other for years, and so that was the easy part. And then getting some players and some depth, and then at the same time installing the fundamentals that we want to help them succeed.
Yeah. So the connection that led you here, again, at Tarleton last year, was it Coach Spavital? Was it Coach Aranda? What was that?
So, ironically, Spav and I have known each other for, a long time.
Yeah.
So back when I was at McMurray, so 10, 15 years ago. And obviously through Coach Holgerson, I want to keep calling him Dana. Well, I'm going to call him Dana. So Dana's, knowing Dana, him working for Dana, and then obviously Coach Mummy's relationship with Dana and all those guys, Coach Sumlin. So at any rate, we got to know each other, kind of that family circle, and then kept in touch when he was at Texas State. I was at Wazoo with 2 ships passing the night, always talking to each other. And then one day my phone rings, and he said, "Get in the car." And I said, "Okay." So here we are.
Wow, how about that? I'm always intrigued by the connections. I mean, you guys are all sort of interwoven. You know so-and-so from way back who knows so-and-so.
Right.
And it's great. It's a really great fraternity.
No, it is. It's really cool. You get with a good group of people and people you enjoy being around every day. And then obviously with Coach Aranda, him having worked for Coach Leach so long ago, he was a GA. When I came, he was like, "You got any questions?" Like, "No, I kind of feel like I know you and Dion because Leach would talk about you all the time." So I thought that was kind of like a weird moment that the whole thing had come together. So.
And for those of you who don't know, Dion is Dion Aranda, Coach Aranda's wife. And with Spavital and this offense, Baylor changing to this offense this year, you know it. I mean, there was, I guess, pretty short on-ramp to you being the offensive line coach in this offense.
It was a short on-ramp. What everybody's got different names for different things. And so for the first couple of days, you're converting in your head what you called it and what we call it here. So you're like, all right, that's this is that. Yeah. So, and then obviously working out the fundamentals of how to do things and, the mechanics of it, everything. So
nice.
It's been fun. We've enjoyed it.
Very good.
Get it going.
Very good. All right. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more. Coach Mason Miller with us, Baylor offensive line coach. Baylor and BYU comes up this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. at McLean Stadium. We'll take a break and be right back. We are live at Rudy's. Thanks to our host at Rudy's. It's the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank.
Are you ready for the action-packed experience of Baylor volleyball? Come watch the Bears all season long at the Farrell Center as the team battles to bring home another Big 12 Conference championship to Waco. Secure your seats at BaylorBears.com/tickets and come be a part of the action courtside. Youth teams can also sign up to be Anthem Buddies and join the team on the court before first serve by emailing fan_engagement@baylor.edu. We'll see you at the Farrell Center and Sic 'em Bears.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call an order of Rudy's Group Meal. Next in line.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back on the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank, live from Rudy's on the Circle in Waco, continuing with Baylor offensive line coach Mason Miller. We'll get questions from the audience coming up in just a moment, Coach, but got to ask you, coming off the Colorado game on Saturday, disappointing gut punch of a loss, but gosh, you guys did a lot of good things in that game. I was, even in the loss, I was encouraged about the way the team continues to grow.
Well, I think the one thing that you do see, other than the fact that we didn't win the game and accomplish the most important thing, we saw people not surrender. That's a big thing. If you got kids that are always buying in, always wanting to compete and not surrendering, and obviously, a guy knocks you down, you get back up, and you knock him down, he gets back up. I mean, that's the testament of character, right? And that's what we're trying to strive for here, right? Don't give up. You never know what's going to happen. Obviously, it didn't turn out our way, but they made a play and we didn't, and that's kind of the way the ball bounces sometimes.
So the follow-up question is, how have your guys responded this week?
This has kind of been an energetic week because the kids kind of feel like this is what it took to get to that point. Yeah. Let's try to push it a little bit further. Let's see how much further we can push this thing, right? So that's been really encouraging. Yeah, we didn't like it. It wasn't cool. We didn't win. That's the ultimate goal. But you can't let one turn into two. And so that's kind of the motto right now.
And playing BYU this week, a really good team that's playing really well, 4-0, moved into the top 25 this week. I mean, that kind of helps you snap back into moving forward.
I think anytime you play college football, you got to be ready to play. It's so hard to win football games, and that's especially at the collegiate level, at any level, but it's hard to win football games in the FBS level. So you got a great opponent. Coach has done a great job over there, and I keep wanting to call him Kalani. So Kalani's done a great job. He's really getting after it, and got a great program, always has, developed it. And so we're looking forward to the opportunity to compete with them.
Yeah. I asked you this during the break. BYU typically has some older guys.
They do.
More mature, and there's a plus to that. Is that the case this year?
Oh, yeah. They've got some seasoned guys, and I think that they're going to bring some sort of physicality to it, and we just got to match that. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to instill right now, especially in the O-line room, is just getting downhill, hitting people in the mouth, and running your feet on contact.
Yeah. What's their defensive front look like?
You know, they're really kind of based out of a 3-3 stack, three-man front. They're going to try to get into a four-man front. They're going to be multiple. Third down, I'll tell you when I get to the stadium what they're going to run on third down, because he's done a really good job of mixing it up week to week. So, again, their down front's pretty good. They're not pretty good. They're really good. But again, they're physical, and we got to match that.
Good, very good. All right, good challenge this week. Baylor and BYU, the all-time series is 2 wins apiece. We've had some memorable games against them, a couple in the 80s and a couple just 2 years ago and 3 years ago. So not a long series between these two, but I think a really good building rivalry as BYU's now in the Big 12.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm kind of excited about it. I've never played the Blue Cougars, so there's 3 types. There's the Crimson Cougars, there's the Blue Cougars, and then there's the Red Cougars down south. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know they're a great program, and Coach Edwards, and kind of where this whole air raid thing came from was Coach Lavelle Edwards back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, going way back, that's true. Yeah, very good. All right, we got some questions from the audience. You okay with taking these?
Sure.
All right, very good. John, Roy says, Roy's right here. He says, you've talked about part of this, but tell us about your family and where you're from and the college you attended.
Okay. Well, my family is my wife, Megan, my daughter, Madison, and Mallory. They're actually here with us. They wanted to see Dad talk, which is ironic because they don't ever hear me talk at home. I'm pretty quiet when I get there. I am from Marietta, Georgia. It's Marietta if you're from there, just north of Atlanta, which has now been engulfed by Atlanta. Waco kind of reminds me of Marietta when I was growing up. You know, a city, things to do, fields everywhere, good football.
Nice.
And then I attended Valdosta State University in South Georgia. I got a degree in history.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I was a history teacher. My youngest daughter was she was doing a constitutional quiz the other day, and I was answering the question. She's like, "How do you know this?" And I was like, "Because I taught it."
Pretty good background there.
Yeah,
That's great.
So, yeah.
All right, very good. And Valdosta State was the school. Fullback.
The Valdosta State University.
The Valdosta.
That's right.
How'd you say it? Marietta?
Marietta.
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 Not Marietta.
No, it's Marietta if you're from there.
Okay. I'll remember that. Marietta. Another question from John Jackson. John is right back over there. What is the most difficult thing to teach/coach with offensive linemen?
Ooh. How much time you got?
Right.
I would say the biggest thing to teach, the hardest thing to teach is pad level. They're big guys, bending, staying low, running your feet on contact, and then using your hands, right? So your feet are moving. You get the feet. Everything's got to start from the ground up, right? How your stance, how they move, don't take too big of strides, etc. The next phase of it is putting hands on people because, you got to do that to block them. So I think right now we are kind of in the phase of we got to put hands on people, reach out and touch somebody, be AT&T, So, you got to do all those things, and I think that's been the challenge if you're not used to doing it.
Very good. Good question, John. Thanks, Coach. Good answer. This is from, I'm not sure who. Oh, it's from Diane and Steve Van Wagner right here. If you haven't already discussed it, would like to hear more about that 101-yard touchdown run.
I'm going to be honest with you. I heard it. I felt it breeze by me. I didn't know that it was going on. I looked up in the scoreboard and we had scored.
Yeah.
So, obviously, saw it the next day. We were getting ready to go out because we were receiving, and, you're getting your guys ready, you're talking to them, and all of a sudden the thing goes by you and everybody's screaming and yelling, the sidelines erupting. So, obviously, very happy. It was pretty cool to see. And, nowadays you don't get to see that often. So that was pretty awesome.
That's right. I don't think anybody touched him either.
No.
That was cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did, Jamal Bell. So that was terrific. And how much of a plus is that when you get points on special teams?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. We were talking about it the other day. I think we only had 65 plays on offense, and then we forget that we lost a whole series, right? So you kind of, which is great. We got 3 points out of it. It was awesome for us. But, it's always good when you get a kick return in somebody else's backyard, too.
Yeah, very cool. All right, another question. This is the one. I'm not sure who it's from. I'm sorry. But how have the older transfer O-linemen adapted and fit in?
You know, that's a great question. I think one of the things, especially with Sydney, Colin came in late, kind of knew their situation and wanted to compete for a starting job. Still are competing. You know, nothing's set in stone. But Colin is, you know, helping out in other ways because he's older, and so he knows this kind of grind, and he's helping the younger kids develop. Sydney's competing every day, trying to learn something new. Colton Thompson done a really good job. So glad we have all of them. And then Kamari is just, you know, again, coming in late, probably not there yet, but has added depth. All four of them have added depth to the room, have elevated the room, and helped us, you know, get a little bit better every week.
Good. All right, the other side of that is, are there some young guys that are here that you work with that maybe haven't played yet and might not play this year, but you see them kind of developing?
Yeah, I think that's the thing I'm most excited about is the young talent in the room. I mean, obviously, like Caden and Big A, Alvin, and that's what I call him, Big A, and Colton, they're sophomores, right? But the guys right underneath that layer, like Stump, who's Colton Siraki. I call him Stump because the big Siraki is a lot taller.
Right.
You know, Sean Thompson from Georgia, you know, I knew him when I was at Mississippi State. We kind of looked at him, recruited him a little bit. You know, those guys are doing a really good job. And, you know, like Wes Tucker, we had a good-on-good competition today. Wes snuck in there, didn't even see it. Passes off a twist, and I'm like, hey, this, you know, those are things that kind of get you excited, put a smile on your face.
That's great. And things really only you and maybe the other offensive coaches see on tape.
Yeah, no, like I didn't even notice he was in there until we watched the film because he had snuck in.
Really?
And you're watching all five guys go, and you're not paying attention to what number, right? I'm looking at the left tackle and seeing the twist, and then get on the film, and I'm like, how'd you sneak in there? You know, it's like one of those deals. So it was pretty cool. Didn't even faze him. He just jumped right in.
Wow.
Somebody needed a break. He just ran right in. So that's what you like to see.
Right. Very good. All right, let's take a break. Back with more in a moment. It's the Baylor Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank. We are live at Rudy's on the Circle in Waco, and we'll return right after this.
Elevate your lifestyle with a Baylor Club.
All right, I think you lost track again. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you'll have about 2 minutes.
Community. We're
Okay, no worries. Thanks.
Lasting connections is as easy as a smile and a handshake. Indulge in members-only events and personalized service that caters to your every need. For those extra special moments, it's with us. Contact the Baylor Club membership or private events team.
We're going to make it, don't worry.
Oh.
And if we're over, it's no big deal.
This is Elise McGee with Baylor Volleyball, and this is my story. Trying to balance faith, school, and volleyball has felt at times impossible. Having people around you that point you to God and His truth, I feel, is something unique at Baylor. God surrounded me with coaches, teammates, professors, and staff that intertwine Him in our daily lives. My name is Elise McGee, and this is my Champions Tribune.
Read more Champions Tribune at BaylorBears.com.
Jan from Toyota here. At Toyota's national sales event, there's still time to squeeze more fun out of summer with an exciting new Camry, RAV4, Corolla, and more. So go on. Surprise yourself with how much you can squeeze into a Tacoma for a camping trip.
Mini fridge, hair dryer, and is that a waffle iron?
Yeah. Wait, do bears like waffles?
Squeeze your extended family into a Highlander for a family reunion.
All right, everybody in. Tammy, Teddy, Toady, Tommy, Toby, Terry. Wait, where's Rex?
Or stop for some fresh squeezed lemonade in a Prius.
Wow, that looks delicious. How much do I owe ya?
$15. I also accept crypto.
Okay, now that's a squeeze.
During Toyota's national sales event, qualified buyers can get 3.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new 2024 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Offer ends September 3rd and is available in select states only.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back from Rudy's, our Baylor Coaches Show tonight, presented by Central National Bank. We appreciate Coach Mason Miller pinch hitting for Coach Aranda tonight. Coach Aranda had a prior commitment tonight, and he will be back the Wednesday before our next home game. So we look forward to that, but we really do appreciate you being here with us tonight. As we look at BYU, older team, veteran team. They scored on offense, on defense, and on special teams last week as they just pummeled Kansas State. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, looking at the film, on the defense, looking at their defense, and you see the scoreboard start jumping, so I don't know what happened outside of that. I just know that they're going to compete. They're going to play hard. All those things that a good, solid football team does. And, we got to match that. We got to come out, put our best foot forward. Would love it if the stadium's packed. Let's create some noise, make Waco wild, and let's have a good game on Saturday.
That's where I was going. Home game, hopefully very much in your favor on Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be hot.
Right. Needs to be hot. That would work in our favor. And what about, final question, you guys are practicing mornings now.
Yeah.
And finally we get a morning kickoff after a lot of night games. Could that be a plus for you?
I just think the kids are in a routine, and they get going on a certain day. Those night games are what they are, but we also have a lot of rest leading up to that, so they kind of flip the script. So either or. For me, personally, it's just I hate sitting around all day. I just put the ball down, let's go.
Right.
So let's get up and go.
Very good. 11 a.m. kickoff.
That's right.
Coach, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach Mason Miller with us, Baylor offensive line coach. Take a break, be back, and look ahead and wrap things up right after this.
It's the biggest blockbuster on the Brazos, and you don't want to miss the premiere of Baylor women's basketball at brand new Foster Pavilion for the upcoming season. The Bears provide an elite atmosphere and return to the court with head.
I think we'll have about 30 seconds, but I'll let you know when we get closer when my math works better.
Lets you be closer to the action. So help us fill the Foster with.
And I'll be right back, John.
By getting your women's basketball season tickets today at BaylorBears.com/tickets.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
Hey Baylor fans, group experiences are back for the 2024 football season. Fans can purchase exclusive experiences online and on the Baylor Sports app. Baylor football experiences include on-field photos, sideline access during warm-ups, tunnel access during the team run-out, an in-game radio booth experience with the voice of the Bears, a birthday bash, and so much more. There's limited availability, so purchase your experience today at BaylorBears.com/group experiences or the Baylor Sports app to lock in your one-of-a-kind game day experience today.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. And a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
We'll have about 40 seconds. I'll cut you down. Sure. Thanks, bud.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
To wrap things up on the Baylor Coaches Show tonight, presented by Central National Bank. Football Saturday, 11 a.m. kickoff. Baylor and BYU go gold. So plan on that. Go gold for the game this Saturday. The Bears and the BYU Cougars. Volleyball playing 15 right now against Arizona. They'll host Arizona State on Friday. Soccer home hosting TCU on Sunday. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate your being here this evening. And for now, good night from Rudy's.